issues. Okay, so today we are kicking off the free webinar with Dr. Wesley Ogude. And today we'll be looking at a topic we call winning the money game in Q2. Back in April, we had winning the money game in Q1. So today, our lead consultant, Dr. Wesley Ogude, is super excited to have each and every one of you join today's free webinar. Before we get started, I want to read his profile so we can just go quickly into the session. So I'll be sharing my screen right now. All right. So Wesley Ogude is a global wealth consultant and the lead consultant of Spring Wealth Group of companies with operations in Canada, the US, and Africa. With over 25 years of experience, is committed to helping high-income professionals, executives, and entrepreneurs across multiple continents build true, enduring wealth that outlasts income and creates legacy. Wesley holds 2 MBAs, one from the University of Lagos, Nigeria, and an executive MBA in global business strategy from the Queen's School of Business in Canada. He empowers clients through proven strategies rooted in the 4 core asset classes that drive lasting wealth, including equity, tax planning, and other diversified vehicles, all guided by a strong global perspective. Named one of the 100 most influential Black Canadians, Wesley also holds multiple prestigious designations, including Chartered Accountant, that's ICANN, CPA Canada, CMA USA, Chartered Banker, and Certified SAP Consultant. A decorated community leader, he has been recognized with the Black History Award by Toronto Police and is a passionate mentor committed to equipping the next generation of wealth builders worldwide. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with a loud ovation and virtual claps, can we just welcome our lead consultant, Dr. Wesley Ogude, as he takes his session? You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much, Maria. Thank you. Good morning from my end. It's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good afternoon for those of you who are in another part of the world, and good evening to those who are in the evening time. I'm super excited to be here today. Thank you for the honor and the privilege. We're going to be spending, I want you to please pay attention. We're going to be spending about, an hour, 90 minutes together. And I want you to please take away every distraction. Make sure that you are taking notes, and make sure that if you have not done so, you are inviting somebody, because you can change somebody's life like somebody did mine. Have we started the recording? I can hear you. You're on mute.
Yes, it's live on YouTube.
All right, that's awesome. That's great. So thank you so much, everyone. I want to welcome all of us from wherever we're joining from across the world. Let's get into it. Please give me the permission to share my screen. If you are here today and it's your first time joining our free webinar, I welcome you. And those who have joined in the past, you're welcome back. It's a time again to learn together, to grow together, right? For many, 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 many years, I struggled financially because of some things that I did not know. And so my family and I took it upon ourselves that as much as God gives us grace, we will help as many families to cover that knowledge gap. And this is one of the practical ways we are doing that. So we are today is our series number 7 in our free webinar, meaning that we've been doing this. This is the 7th time we're doing it. And today we'll be talking about, the goal is to help, your mindset to shift, to help you take better control of your financial future. Why is this important? Like you heard in my profile, right? For many years, I did not understand the issue of winning with money. I did what most people do, go to school, which is great. I love academics. Go to school, climb the corporate ladder and things like that. But I can tell you for free that that may give you high income. It will help you pay your bill. It may even help you to live comfortably to a large extent, but it won't create wealth for you. Okay. So we're talking about winning the money game in the second quarter. Some of you have heard me speak about the different quarters. Some of you joined us our last, we focused on the first quarter in our last webinar. So it is important you don't miss this series because I want to avoid going back to repeat myself. So if you haven't seen the one we did the last time, please, it's on our YouTube channel, or ask our global program manager. She will direct you to where you can get it. So this is High Income to Wealth. It's presented by Spring Wealth Management and Consulting Services Limited, based in Toronto, Canada. That's the consulting arm of our business, in our family business. Our family business is a group of companies, right? With operations in Canada, so in Nigeria and in the US. So this is one of our Canadian companies. It's a consulting company, and so our goal here is that this is designed for high net worth executives or entrepreneurs. And if you are there, you are thinking, well, I'm not yet a high income earner, or I'm not yet an executive, then you will get to it. Don't worry. As you hang around with executives and high income earners, you will also become one. So it's designed to assist you along the journey of translating high income into wealth, right? Because for a long time, I never realized that high income and wealth are not the same. They are day and night. And for those of us who have started the journeys to help you to accelerate your speed, right? This is what we do at, SMC, that is Spring Wealth Consulting. That's what we do for our clients all over the world. You may have seen some of their videos on our YouTube channel. So I'm super excited today as I bring you Winning the Money Game in the second quarter. Let's jump into it. What are we going to be learning today together? Please make sure you're taking notes and make sure you are dropping your questions if you have not sent in the question, because I'm going to make my best efforts to answer your questions. We're going to go through an overriding thoughts. In other words, what exactly are we trying to communicate in summary? I'll give you what our objectives are, and then we will go to look at the playbook we are using. There is a playbook that we are using to win the money game, which is giving us a guide, a guide to how we can win. So why is money a game? In our last series, we looked at some reasons. We look at another reason today. And then what it means to lose. If you are losing the money game, I want to show you certain things to show you that you are losing the game, right? In our last free webinar, when we focused on winning the money game in the first quarter, please, if you have not seen it, go to our YouTube channel. Please take your paper and pen, call your children and your family, and sit down and take note and understand the first quarter. In that, I covered what it means to win the game. In this one, I will be telling you what it means to lose that game, okay? Then we'll go into the seasons of play, and then we're going to do some polls here. So please be ready to be engaged, stay focused. I will ask some questions, and then we're going to do a poll, right? To just reflect on what season are you, okay? And then we are looking at the peculiarity of the second quarter. There are certain things that characterize your money game when you are in the second quarter of play, okay? So those things, we are going to look at them, okay? And then we are going to go into, those peculiarities. I will share those peculiarities with us, and then why many people right, do not win in the second quarter. Then I will share some strategies with you. Let's get started, okay? The first thing is to say, what is our overriding, the thought for today, okay? Overriding thought. In other words, if you don't remember anything, this is what we are trying to communicate, and then look at our objectives, okay? So let's quickly look at our overriding thoughts, okay? So this is our overriding thought for today. In that overriding thoughts, if you want to just take a snapshot of you can take a snapshot of the slide if you think that you can't write fast enough, okay? Because I want you to get as much out of this today as you can, okay? Now, in the overriding thought, it shows you that we want to communicate something to you, and we want to make sure that you fully grasp what we are communicating. This is the overriding thought today, okay? Your boss's job is to give you a job to work for money. So a boss can give you a job, help you to keep your job. But as long as you are on that job, you are working for money, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to win the money game, you don't work for money, okay? That's one signal that you have not won the game, all right? Now, your boss's job is to give you a job to work for money. It is your own job to make yourself wealthy by learning how to make money work for you. Okay? Let me repeat myself. Your boss's job is to give you a job to work for money. And thank God for job. I'm grateful for job. We are all grateful that we can. Those of us who are employed, we are grateful for job. Okay, and those who are not employed, it is my prayer that you get a gainful employment. Okay, job is very important. We are not here to batch our jobs. Okay, but your boss can only give you a job, and once you have a job, you are working for money, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with working for money. You just need to understand that as long as you're working for money, you have not won the game. In other words, you are not yet wealthy. Okay. Wealthy people don't work for money. They work for something else. They work to manage the assets that generate wealth. And those assets are in 4 classes. Those assets will replace you, and you will never need a job again. By God's grace, that is my reality today. I will never need a job for the rest of my life, okay? But I still work, okay? This is what I'm doing now. But this is what I want to do. I enjoy doing this. You didn't have me do this, so you can see the difference. So wealthy people still work, but they work, they do what they want to do at the time they want to do it with whoever they want to do it. That's the difference, okay? So your boss's job is to give you a job, and that job is for you to be working for money. It is your own job to make yourself wealthy. Your boss will not make you wealthy. That's not his job, okay? All right? To make yourself wealthy, how? By learning. That is the key word, learning how to make money work for you. That is our overriding thoughts today, okay? Okay, just like before, in this community, we have a goal, we have a vision. The vision of our own family business is called the 1% high income family vision. What does that mean? We want to reach at least 1% of the world's high income middle class family. Some of you are here. Some of you may not be from middle class, maybe lower than middle class, but all the same, we want to reach out to you and help you to transition from high income to creating wealth, not just any wealth, wealth that will outlive you, because true wealth must outlive its owner. That's one of the ways you know that you are winning. You have something that will outlive you, okay? So we want to use them yearly. And if you assume that there are just, 1% of 10 million, that is about 100,000 family yearly. If we reach them, we are looking about 500,000 families in the next 5 years that we want to reach. And thank you for everyone who invited somebody. It was somebody who invited me a few years ago to a webinar that changed my life forever. So we always encourage people that invite your friend. You never can tell. So the big picture is that if we help them to turn today's career and financial success into tomorrow's financial security and multi-generational wealth, we will be able to solve part of the problems of the world, including unemployment. The more people who can win the money game, the less people that will be unemployed. Because once you win the money game, you are no longer interested in 9 to 5 paycheck. Okay. So, but before we get into it, we acknowledge that some of you have accomplished some things. We celebrate your accomplishment, whether it's a degree, whether it's your skill. We're not here to bash it at all. We're here to just challenge you that you can do more. Okay? We want to inspire you, to let you know that despite where you are, you can do more, you can achieve more. Okay? To become a highly paid executive is not a walk in the park. If anybody tries to rubbish it, that person doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay? It takes a lot of work to have a well-paying job, a stable career, and all of those things. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of discipline. So we salute all of your accomplishments. But we want to challenge you and stretch your thinking beyond that, okay? And we want to expose you to some of your blind spots, and we want to offer help, how we can help you to go beyond where you are today, okay? The second thing on our agenda is the playbook for winning the money game with dignity. So there is a playbook, and that playbook is a book that I have written where I have documented the pathway from any level of poverty. Why? It's proven, because that is the pathway that God led me through to be able to win the money game, okay? And it is a book that is titled Winning the Money Game with Dignity. This is it. There are some insights you will learn from that book. Our team has been working very hard. Our goal is to get this book. It was written for 8 billion people who use money. There is nobody on the planet today who lives in the material world that money does not affect. So this book is relevant for every single individual. Now, we don't want you to just get the book. We want you to make sure you read and understand it, and more importantly, put into practice what is there. Guarantee you will be able to win the money game. It's currently in print, it's in ebook, it's in audio, and we plan to translate it into many languages later. Here are some of the insights. Yeah, I know the next thing you'll be asking me is, where can we get the book? Where can we get the book? Well, the place you can get it, if you're in the Western world, is on Amazon. The book is on Amazon. Just check those who have even rated it. Everyone who has made comment on it gave it a 5-star. Okay, everyone who made comments on it. For those of us who are not in this hemisphere, meaning that you are in Africa or other parts of the world, we have you covered. We have been working very hard to make sure that this book becomes ubiquitous, meaning you can find it virtually everywhere in the world. And we are also going to give a number of people today opportunity to be on the waiting list for what we call FRO, First Reader Opportunity. In other words, be the first person to read this book in your territory and bring it to your territory to reach other people, because we are going to be going out there later in our global summit, where we will reach out virtually to the world, and we will be telling them about the great insight in this playbook. This playbook is a playbook of how my family, how God helped us to rise from coming from 1% of the poorest population in the world to a place where, by God's grace, the modest wealth God has given us in my own family has given us freedom, and it will outlive me. So you will learn why money is a game. You will learn the rules. They are kept secret. You will learn the different kind of players, and you will know what type of player you are. You now understand why you're losing. And because I saw myself there, you will learn why billions lose the game and how you can exit that crowd. You will learn the true source of wealth to win the money game, the kind of mindset, the skill set. If you don't have the right mindset and skill set, you can't win the game. Of course, as we speak to now, it's 2026, right? This is July, right? The World Cup, 2026 World Cup is going on. Excuse me, the people who are playing on that soccer field, they have skills, real skills, and their skills are in levels. If you don't have the skill, you can't. You may know about the game of soccer. You can analyze it. But to play it, you have to have the skill set, okay? And then the mindset of those who lose, the skill set that they possess, you need to know them so that if you don't have those skill sets, you now work on gaining those skill set. Without the skill set and the mindset, you can't win the game. It's just practically impossible. You will also understand the tools. There are tools they use, okay? You will understand the strategies for winning and for preserving your win. In other words, preserving your wealth. You will learn how to outsmart wealth predators and so on and so forth. A lot to learn. It's completely packed, okay? Right. So as we speak, in the less than 6 months ago, in 12 countries now, and potentially we have some FRO partners who are potentially going to bring this to about 12 African countries. And before we finish today, you will have opportunity to be on the waiting list if you want to join that exclusive club, okay? So why is money a game? There are many reasons. I will not repeat myself, what we have said before. But what I want to focus on today is this. Every game has a season within which it is played. It is very timely. We are currently in the season of 2026 World Cup, okay? There is a season, okay? Keep in mind that when you play any game, the game doesn't go forever. It doesn't go indefinitely. It's played within a time frame. So let's use soccer. Soccer is played within 90 minutes. What you do and don't do in that 90 minutes, unless it goes into extra time, it will determine whether you win or not. It's the same with money. The time frame within which you play money game is the 40 most productive years of your life. It is from age 25 to 65, 40 years of your life. If you spend those 40 years or a big part of it selling it or trading it for money, you are going to lose the game for sure, okay? So every game has a season. And once that season has passed, you don't do certain things in certain season, you cannot go back again. You need to be aware of that, okay? For example, I'm in the 4th season of play. By God's grace, I won the money game. I won the money game in the 3rd quarter of my play, the 3rd quarter. Because we are focusing on 2nd quarter today. By God's grace, we'll go to 3rd quarter and we'll go to 4th quarter. Regardless of the quarter where you are, you should attend every session so that you know what's ahead of you, okay? So every game is won or lost within a time frame. So if you get out of the university, and this is it, look at it, at the age of 20, at the age of 25, you get out of the university, okay? Approximately, give or take 25 or a little later or a little earlier. And you start working. Most people work until the age in most countries, okay? The age of retirement is anywhere between 60 and 65 for most countries. So take the average of 65. So because we're talking about the entire world. So 25 to 65, that period, they are the most productive years of your life. They are the most energetic years of your life. They are the years of your life where you can enjoy your wealth the most. So the earlier you win, the better. But once that season is over, game over, game over. And the tragic thing about this is this. If you don't win the game in your own generation, you may not be able to set up the next generation for success to win their own game. Okay? So I'll give you an example. Soccer. For the first time in the history of Canada, I'm a Nigerian Canadian. I'm a Nigerian, originally Nigerian, but I've lived in Canada, and by God's grace, my family and I are all Canadian citizens. So we hold dual citizenship. Now, the relevance of that is this. As a Canadian, I know that Canada has never done as much as it did in World Cup, in the history of World Cup. This was our best performance ever. Guess what has happened? A number across the country, there are a number of youth and young adults who are so inspired that the next World Cup, they are going to take it to the next level. That after all, they just got to realize that Canada has to be recognized because we made it into the 16th, the best 16, right? That they realized that, oh my God, Canada is going to be recognized as a soccer country, because up till now we're known as a country where we love hockey, we play hockey, but not soccer. We've never done, as a matter of fact, we've never won a game in World Cup in soccer. But this year, this particular rendition, we did. What was the implication? The implication is that many people, in fact, a number of those players in the Canadian national team, they came from our neighborhood here, Brampton. As a matter of fact, one of the players called Oluwaseyi, right? The school he attended is the same school my children attended, is right from my living room. You can see the school. What is my point? The whole of the nation was inspired. And we now have a lot of young adults who are from a city called Brampton, because that's where like 4 of them came from there. The fire has gone. They are ready to hit the world with a storm in the next World Cup. What is my point? My point is that when you win, you inspire and position the generation following you. Okay? But if you don't win the money game, you see, the generation following you, the impact is that they will just replace you in the workforce and do the same thing you did. Spend that 40 years, most productive years, working for money. That's not what you want. So there's a lot of reason why you need to win, okay? So let's look at this. If you don't win, this is Ronaldo in tears as Portugal exits World Cup. You can see him, he lost, okay? If the following exist in your life, there are signs that you're losing. Number one, you don't have financial independence. In other words, you live from paycheck to paycheck. I have done that for many years in my life. It's a sign you are not winning. And you don't have freedom. Some of us have had my story. For 17 years, I worked in Canada. I wanted to go to my country. They wouldn't allow me to go. It was a very painful experience I will never forget. It occurred to me that I didn't have freedom. But guess what today? Nobody can tell me where I can go or where I cannot go. So financial freedom, financial independence. If you are stuck in the rat race, it's a sign you are not winning. In other words, I have no choice. I have to do this work. I have no choice. I have to do this work. And now if you are in that position, we're not knocking you at all. We're just telling you that nothing else tells you are losing other than the fact that you have no choice. But you can create that choice. Remember our overriding thoughts. It is your own job to learn how to do that. And that's why you are here. That's why I congratulate you, because you're learning. You're learning that there is a choice, that there's an alternative path. There are other things you can do. Yeah, it's not going to be overnight, but you are going to do it over time, and you're going to change the trajectory of your own financial future. So if you're stuck in the rat race and you're feeling there's no choice, I have to go to work, I have to get up in the morning and go to work, right? Then it means it's a sign you are losing. No wealth in the family. What do we mean by that? There are 4 asset classes that create wealth. If you are not in control of one of them, then you will be the assets. And over time, they will retire that person and they will give you what is called pension. Pension is financial palliative. You've always heard me say that, okay? It's not to make you wealthy. If you're looking forward to pension, if that is all you can see in your financial future and not a solid asset that is generating cash flow that has replaced your income, it's a sign you are not winning the game, you are losing it, okay? If you always have fear of the future, financial uncertainty, and there is no clear pathway, that's why I talked about that book, because the book gives you a very clear pathway to win the game, okay? If you can't see that clear pathway, it's uncertainty. And I've lived through this. In my past world, every time there is, challenges in the economy and they're talking about, job loss, they're shedding job, I will be nervous. I will be nervous. Anyone who is under the sound of my voice, the day you get into your office and you see your boss, an HR come into your office, you know what that means. The job is over. I have lived through that at least 2 or 3 times in my life. So I know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a sign. Today, no HR can walk into my life. Okay. So you now understand what I mean. Okay. So because there is a pathway, okay, to creating wealth. Okay. So that is a sign. If somebody can still walk into your office or walk into your life with a manager and hand you a paycheck and say, this is a very difficult decision. Some of us have had that, that narrative before, right? That speech. I have given that speech because I have laid people off and there was nothing personal. It's just business decision, right? If they can still take such a decision on you, then you have not won the game. I have told my children this. They know it very well. And that is why my children, by the very special grace of God, the 3 of them, they have something they can look forward to in the family, that one day they will never need a paycheck again. Now, this is what I always say to them. Please write it down. If you are not around the table, you will be on the menu. Let me repeat myself. If you are not around the table, you will be on the menu. Okay? That's what one of my mentors said, John C. Maxwell. What does that mean? If you're not the one around the table taking decision about people's employment destiny, then you will be on the menu where people will be taking decision about your employment destiny and about your future. That is what we mean by fear, uncertainty, no pathway. Okay? Then if you have sold or you are selling all your productive years that I defined, if you're selling it for money, and you don't have a solid financial literacy, you need to invest in yourself heavily. Nobody is going to give that to you. You are going to invest in yourself. Today, for example, this is an investment, about 1.5 hours of your life. Some of you had to cancel appointments so that you can be here. You need to make this kind of investment and go beyond that. Okay, go beyond the free version and begin to make solid investments in yourself, in your financial literacy. Okay, if you do not have that, then it's a sign that you are not winning the game. Okay, now another sign is that the boundaries of your life, okay, the boundaries are defined by money. That used to be my reality. The boundaries of my life, what I can do, what I cannot do, okay, is defined by money. Today, that is not, by the very special grace of God, the modest wealth God has provided for us. Well, money does not define my boundaries. By God's grace, I can do whatever I desire to do. The means are there. It's just to make the decision and get it done. Not just that it defines you in terms of the money you have, but your freedom and what you can do with your life. You may not be able to pursue purpose. You may not be able to pursue, I told you earlier that this is a dream for our own family, and we're working the dream. We want to touch other people. We want somebody to be able to say, it was because I met this person, I attended this seminar, and so on and so forth, that my life changed. Okay. So another sign that you are losing the game is that you are raising the children to replace you in the labor market. No end in sight from generation to generation. What does that mean? In other words, if you don't have a family business and all you did is send your children to school, they became medical doctors, they became accountants, they became engineers, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that's not a walk in the park at all. I'm not knocking it. I'm not trivializing it. It's a great accomplishment. And any parent who is able to do that for their children, I mean, I doff my hat to you. By God's grace, my wife, my lovely wife, and I, our executive director in Springwells, we've done that for our children, and we can tell you it's not an easy thing to do. But if that is all you do for them, well, you have raised them to create wealth for other families, okay? And so they are going to replace you in the labor market unless you create, no matter how small it is, start creating a family business. And that business could be a company that is just managing your investment. It doesn't have to be you run a business. I was telling somebody in our team yesterday that Warren Buffett is in the business of investing. So when I say start your own business, it could be just investing, but you're investing on a large scale in the name of an entity, and so on and so forth. Okay, so those are the signs. Let's quickly go to another thing. Okay, seasons of play. What are the seasons of play? Okay, all right. Some of us already have shared this with you. Okay, so your life and my life, for the purpose of this game, is divided into 5 seasons. The first season is the season of preparation. Again, I'll go back to the World Cup because that is what is in vogue as we speak today in 2026. Okay, now before you saw these people who showed up on every World Cup match, there was a season in their lives where they had to prepare. They didn't just wake up and show up on the world stage playing soccer. They prepared. It's the same thing in the money game. From age 1 to 25, most of us are preparing. It is called the age of oblivion for most people. Others start the game early. Somebody like me, I didn't even have time to prepare because, I was thrown into it. And I covered it in Winning the Money Game with Dignity, that there are some exceptions. That period of preparation is a period where you go to school, your parents send you to school, somebody's responsible for your financial issue, they house you, you don't pay rent, you live with your parents, they buy things for you, just like parents are doing for their children now, okay? That is the time of preparation, okay? You will agree with me that what you do in that time of preparation will affect what the future job that you can get, okay? So one season affects the other season. Okay, so that's the season of preparation. Then you go to the first quarter. We covered that in our last seminar, okay, in our last webinar. Okay, if you haven't seen it, please go to our YouTube channel and you will see there. That is the age of 25 to 35 is the first quarter. We covered things like what are the characteristics of that quarter, why do people lose, and what are some of the strategies. Then the second quarter is what we are focusing on. In our subsequent editions of this webinar, we're going to cover other quarters. So the second quarter is you enter it from age 35 to 45, okay? You are going to have an opportunity, okay, to vote now. What I want you to do now, everybody, please get on the chat room. I've explained it to you from if you are between the age of 35 to 45, you are in the second quarter. If you are between the age of 45 to 55, you are in the third quarter. If you are between the age of 55 to 65, you are in the fourth quarter. If you are between the age of, if you are above 65, you are what is called injury time. Very interesting. If you go to Amazon and you read the comments, those who have read Winning the Money Game with Dignity, I love the comment of one of the readers. This is what he said, I'm paraphrasing. He said he came across this book after his fourth quarter was over. He said he wished he had come across these insights, right, 20 years earlier. He said, well, he can't go back, which is my point. He said, however, what he has done is that he decided to buy copies of the book, and then his nieces, his children, he sent it to all of them. Say, you must read this book. You must understand these quarters, because I wish somebody told me why. The guy said it's over fourth quarter. All right. There are still things you can do if you are over there. But so let's go and do our first poll. What I want you to do in the group chat is I want you to put very quickly, okay, please, let's do this very quickly because of our time. This is our first poll. What season are you in your money game? All you need to do is just put your name, the city, and put the quarter. Q1 means you're between the age of 25 to 35. Q2 and so on and so forth. Let's do that very quickly. All right, I'm watching the chat room. Okay. Wow, fourth quarter. Wow. Okay. Please, let's do that very quickly. Please put your name, city, and the quarter where you are. I've seen Q1. I see Q1. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm in the second quarter. Fourth quarter. Good. Good. It shows that you understand what we're talking about. Q1, I see a lot of Q1 here. Very good. Q2, Q1, Q2. Very good. Q2. Very good. Q2, Q1. Good. 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 Q2. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Q1, wow, okay. All right, stay put. Wow, wow. Q1, Q2, good. All right, Q2, I see that. Christopher in Lagos, Q2. Joseph in Nigeria, first quarter. Now you understand the quarter. This is exactly what I wanted to derive. I want to make sure we are speaking the same language, okay? And that you understand the language. This is the language of wealth. Man, I'm in the first quarter. I'm in the second quarter. What should I be doing in the second quarter? You will learn that today. First quarter, please, all of you who said first quarter, if you did not attend the last, it's our gift to you, free. Just go there, spend the time and learn, okay? But after learning, take the next step, okay? Thank you, thank you. We see people from, yeah, Enugu, right? Chukwemeka, Chukwemelia, well, sorry for that pronunciation. Humphrey, okay. We are still waiting for those who have not voted. Thank you, I'm seeing the quarter. You stay on, because I'm going to share some truth with you, some insight with you, and then you are going to tell us the quarter that you are going to win. So we still have another poll here. Right, I see you. A lot of first quarter here. Very young people. Life is still ahead of you. You need to win this game. Very good. Second quarter. I see Henry, Jonathan, Nigeria, Q1, and so on. Very good. Okay, I see Ngozi. Okay. Those of you who are in Q1, please go and check. Right, Q2, Matthew, Ade, Labu, Ondo, Q2. I see that. Q2. Good. I see Zion Q1 in Italy. Thank you. Right. Somebody from Damilola from Benin City, Q1, and so on and so forth. Okay, Q1, Q2. Very good. So, very good. So I know my audience. There is a Q3 from the US. We see that. I think Q3 from the US. Don't worry, we have your back by God's grace. You need to know what is in each of these quarters, what is ahead of you, whether you are in Q1 or Q2 or Q3. If you're in Q3, just stay on, okay? Now, yeah, we have someone from Abuja, Q1, okay, Maryland, USA, Q2. All right, good. Matthias. All right, we see Q2, we see Q3 from Nigeria, we see Q2, Maryland from, okay, good. So you all see now that this is really that affects every single individual. You are in a quarter, whether you realize it or you don't realize it. And the truth about that, there is no going back, okay? All right, thank you so much for that poll. Thank you for your response to that poll. Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing it. I'll close the poll now. The last one we had there was Azuka Makinde from, it's a Q3 from Nigeria. Okay, so in each quarter, there are certain things you need to do. If you don't do those things, it makes the winning in the other quarter a lot more challenging, okay? Let's look at the peculiarities of the second quarter. You will see yourself here, okay? Let's look at, in the second quarter of the money game, there is heavy demand on you, and there is pressure of your career. 35 to 45, typically, it is when people are very busy with their career. By that time, you would have spent about 10 years. If you left school at 25, right? You have spent at least 10 years. For some people, they would have spent close to 20 years. Okay, if you left school at the age of 25, by the time you are 45, you have done 20 years of your life. Half time is almost done. There is heavy demand and pressure of family. Okay, most people get married at that time, and that's when they have their own children. That was exactly what happened to me. I had my own children within that quarter as well, right? By that quarter, I've had children, and the pressure of children, juggling children. It is at that quarter. It's in that quarter that there's a lot of struggle for work-life balance. Okay, that is the reality. But you still need to do certain things in spite of those things to be able to win. Okay, it's not an excuse. Let me tell you, by God's grace, I won the game, my own money game. I won it in Q3. It was in Q3 that I finally said goodbye to paycheck forever and ever, right? But in my Q2, it was tough. I had children. Many of us will have children. We have responsibilities. For those of us who are from the part of the world that I came from, Africa, we have great respect for our parents. And most of our parents, if you're like me, some of them are not well educated, or some of them are retired and you need to support them and all that. So the financial responsibilities are real. Heavy demand and pressure of family responsibility, struggle for work-life balance, high tendency to default into delegating your investment to experts. So because of all this pressure, what most people do in that quarter is they just delegate it to experts. They say, oh, I'm investing in there is a group, this thing, I don't need to worry. That is the biggest mistake you can make. I don't need to worry about my finances. My employer is matching is matching you. That is your future, what your employer is putting in place. Is that all? That is one of the tragic mistakes you can make. Why? I will show you. I will show you in a moment. So the to say you are contributing into 401k, RRSP, your workplace pension scheme in the UK, that's what it's called. In Australia, it's called, superannuation or whatever it's called, your pension. If that is all, you are not doing any other thing. You are not. Remember what our overriding thought is. It is the job of your boss to give you a job to work for money. It is your own job to learn how to become wealthy by learning how money will work for you. So if in that quarter you have just delegated this thing to, you are just contributing to pension or they are matching, and that's all you do, I can guarantee you will lose the money game, because you're going to wake up in fourth quarter one day and you will be looking retirement just a few years ahead of you, and you look back, there is no wealth in that family. Okay. And let me tell you, as you move up in the work career, your job and your career become more and more uncertain. Okay. More and more uncertain. Why? Because every organization is a pyramid. Every single organization is a pyramid. What does that mean? That means that there are more people, there are less people at the top than at the bottom of the pyramid. So some people must fall off. You call it office politics. No, it's not office politics. That is the reality. So by the time you get into this place, you are getting closer to that pyramid of the organization. You are climbing, you are climbing, you are climbing. One day you are going to fall off because you're not the owner of that company. So another thing that characterizes this is that people exclusively focus on job security and climbing corporate ladder. Yes, you should make sure that your job is secure. We are not saying be careless with your job. But if all you do is just looking for job security, there is no job security anywhere. The company does not belong to you. The company was not designed to make you wealthy. If you attend an interview and they ask you, why do you want to join the company? Say, oh, because I want to be wealthy, because I want to secure my future financially. You know the outcome of that interview, okay? You will say, even if you don't mean it, you will say, well, I'm here to help the company to achieve its goal. So the company was not meant for you. You need to understand that. I wish somebody was telling me that. When my lovely wife used to tell me this in those days, I used to get upset because I thought I had good job, I had got job security and all that. We are not saying don't value your job, don't appreciate your job. We are saying that don't rely on that alone. Learn how to invest, learn how to win the money game, okay? For most people, no time to focus on learning how to build lasting wealth. They are under what I call the illusion of high income. Okay, right. Now let's look at this. So why many people don't win in the second quarter? These are the one. They are stuck with vertical skill sets. Let me explain this to you. The job you are doing today, you are using what is called vertical skill set. In other words, you are in finance, you know finance only. You are in marketing, you only know marketing. You are in sales, you only know sales. You are in IT, you only know IT. That is called vertical skill set. You know so much of very little. For you to win the money game, you need to know so many things. You need to know little of many things. That is the difference. Okay, so let me give you an illustration. Today, by the very special grace of God, I sit as the group CEO of Spring Wells. I'm involved in so many things. I'm involved in marketing. I'm not the expert, but I'm involved in marketing. I'm involved in making different types of presentation. This is just one of them. So I need to be able to communicate. So I use my communication skill. I'm involved in strategy. I'm involved in product developing. I'm involved in finance. I'm involved in IT. I'm involved, but I'm not an expert in all of those things. Every wealthy person has that set of skill set. It's called horizontal skill sets. Check any wealthy person, any business person, check them. They have horizontal skill set. In other words, they know a little of all of these things, and then they now walk through a team of people who help them to create wealth. If you have not transitioned into that, then it means that that is one reason why the person will lose the money game. Okay, so the mistake many people make is that they stay in that skill set for IT for all of their lives, or one or two, and then when they retire, they get gratuity and they put it in business. That is when they want to start business. Well, statistics says that 99% of them will fail within the next 5 years. Why? Because they have very huge blind spots, things that they don't know, and they didn't realize that they don't know those things. Okay. So that is one of the reasons why they lose. Number two is they are stuck in the wrong quadrants. If you have been following me, you have heard me talk about the 4 quadrants. They are all in the playbook that I told you about. The E quadrant is the employee quadrant, and the quadrant where you win the money game is in the B, the business owners, and the I, the investor. So the question is, must everybody become an entrepreneur and become a business person? What if I am not interested in running a business? You don't have to be a business person. Everybody must not be a business, run a business, but everybody must be an investor if you're not a business person. So the B quadrant is for those who run business. The I quadrant is for those who invest. That's where the money game is on. Okay? But if you are stuck in the E quadrant, guarantee the person will lose. Number three, no knowledge of and mastery of one of the 4 asset classes. There are 4 asset classes that create wealth. By the time you are in Q2, you'd have started it from Q1. In Q1, when we covered Q1, we talked about it, that you need to know those 4 asset classes. You need to get a mentor. You need to start learning it because it takes time. It takes time. I told you about World Cup. To get into the stage and play World Cup, you must have been practicing. If you read that book, I covered it there, the law of practice. You need to practice. That get rich quick overnight, it doesn't work and it doesn't last. That's not wealth. Wealth is built over time. Wealth is built through a team. Wealth is built through 4 asset classes. Okay, if you follow that, you don't need to steal. You won't be under any pressure. Okay, that's why it is called winning the money game with dignity. Okay, our family, by God's grace, the modest wealth that our family, God has given me and my family, my children know the source of every asset we own. They know how we got the money. There is nothing in that playbook that I referred you to. I talked about those who steal money, who steal wealth and bequeath the wealth to the generation. They are passing contraband and a curse to the younger generation. And I don't want to pass that on for my own children. So you have to know the 4 asset classes and focus on 1 or 2 of them. It takes time to learn. It takes investment. There are trainings. We offer some of those trainings. Okay, we'll talk about it before we close. You need to invest in learning those things, because how did you get your equivalent job? You went to school for many years. You did certifications. Okay, so you need to be able to do that. So if you don't have the knowledge and the mastery of one of those 4 asset classes, okay, that is one reason why people lose here. Okay. Number 4 is not being intentional to cover some critical gap. Okay. When you have stayed so long as an employee, you have some gaps. We have covered that in some other, there are at least 5 gaps that you must cover. Okay. Let me quickly get through them. There is a language gap you must cover. Every wealth has its own language. So when I ask you, how many of you Q1, Q2, today I'm speaking that language, you understand because you attended this seminar, okay, this webinar. If somebody just jumps on the webinar now and is he hears us talking about Q1, Q2. I hear people join our community. By the way, if you are not in that community, please make sure, our global manager will give you an opportunity to be there. They will be asking, what is Q1? What is Q2? Because they don't understand the language. So wealth has a language. The same thing, real estate. Real estate has language. Okay. Paper asset has language. Business has language. Okay. So there's language. There is network. You need to, that when you are in the A quadrant, the people you know, if you check your phone, they are like employees like you. Okay. Well, you won't win the game like that. You need to network with some people of like mind. That is why we created the FRO, First Reader Opportunity. If you are just hearing about the FRO for the first time, the reason why we created it is that we want to give the people an opportunity to learn how to create business, to learn how to network, to learn how distribution works. For example, in that FRO, I told them that we have a series of training we have going to give them all free. Why? Because they are our partner. So if you're here, you don't have a business, you're like, well, I can use that to start business. What does it mean? Okay, I'm going to be the distributor. Do you know what it means to be a distributor? You will begin to confront some real challenges. Let me give you a practical challenge. And I told them when we were doing the FRO, we are going to do another one. So if you have missed it, another one is coming. I told them, I said, you are going to, I'm going to guarantee you that you are going to have a lot of challenges, but those challenges are going to make you win. Solve those challenges. Okay, what are the challenges we are resolving? The FRO. In our today,
Hello. Okay, I think we lost Dr. Wesley.
okay, I'm right here, right here.
Oh, all right. Okay, all right.
Okay, all right. Sorry about that. All right. So you need to take advantage of that. Okay. So let me quickly go. I'm about to start wrapping up now. So ensuring that you get into a situation where you cover. I'm talking about the gap. You need to cover those gap. You need to cover those gap. Okay. You need to cover those gap. And this is the time you can cover the gap when you are still in Q1, Q2 to learn, right? Some people have never sent a wire transfer in their lives. They have never sent a wire transfer. Why would they send a wire transfer? Okay. Some people have never dealt with logistics issues. Why would they deal with logistics issues? They don't work in logistic company. Okay. That's secretary, and that's all they know. So covering that gap means that you have been involved in doing some business of some sorts, and you have been involved in networking and so on and so forth. And then another reason, okay, so not being intentional to cover the gap. I told you about knowledge gap, there is language gap, there is financing gap. For example, the FRO allows people to begin to say, oh my God, I need working capital. If I have to be a distributor, I need working capital. Some people didn't even think about that. So it gives them opportunity to cover the gap. Now you understand what working capital is. Then you begin to understand financial statements. You begin to understand how you put P&L together and things like that. If you stay in your vertical job, you may never be able to do that. Or if you stay in your mom and pop, you are just a seller of small item locally in one place, you may not be able to. Then why most people lose? They don't understand those gaps, and they have not taken time to cover those gaps. Those gaps have taken me years to cover. And the last thing I want to cover here is that they are very, very busy with life and work pressure. Very, very busy. And, very, very busy. But let me say this thing to you. By the time you win the money game, you will free up your life. Okay? So many things that, you see, when you are in 9 to 5, and we're not knocking 9 to 5. Your life is so structured, your flexibility is close to zero. How many weeks do you have in a year? For me, I used to have 3 or 4 weeks in a year. And within those 3 or 4 weeks, you can't take 2 weeks or 3 weeks together. Oh, then to live like that until you are 65, no, that's not the life I want for myself or for my children. And I don't think you want that kind of life. There is a season should do that, but you should walk to transition so that you can be free from being stuck there. All right. So let's look at some of the strategies, and then we'll take our second poll, and then I will let you ask your question. Okay, listen to this. Listen to this. Strategies for winning in the second quarter. What quarter do you plan to win? So we are going to take a second poll. But let me say this to you, okay? Please pay attention to this. You can take a picture of this slide. So this is the key to win in the second quarter, okay? Learning to invest is more important than learning a profession in your second quarter. Learning, the word is learn. Learning to invest. There are 4 asset classes. Learning them is more important in your Q2 than learning your profession. Why? Because look, when you learn a profession, you are learning and improving your skills on how to work for money. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you can't win that way because you are going to expire. The game is going to run out on you. But when you learn in your Q2, okay, learning to invest in your Q2 is learning how money can work for you. And that is the pathway to financial freedom. The word is learning. The word is learning. Every opportunity to learn. Okay? So let's go quickly. What are some of the strategies? Take your financial literacy absolutely seriously. Have an exit plan. Tell yourself. For me, I had my exit plan. Okay? I believe I was, and I told myself, and I said, I believe I was 42 then. And I said, the next 5 years, I'm going to focus on this. I was still doing my job faithfully and all that. Those 5 years stretched me. They stretched me. But I learned from one of my mentors, watch this. You cannot spread unless you stretch. So it stretched me. I remember carrying 2 cell phones. I had an official cell phone and I had my own personal cell phone. I remember carrying 2 laptops. I had my official laptop. I had my own business laptop. I was carrying both. I remember having a working desk in my bedroom. I remember putting, God is my witness, my wife is my witness. I pasted it on the wall in my bedroom. The formula for financial independence. I wanted to create an alternative path, and I wanted it for, I'm talking about your exit plan. You have to have the plan and you have to be working on it concurrently with your job. That's the way out. That's the way out. So I was 42. By God's grace, by the time I hit 47, I was out, completely out. Those 5 years, they were one of the toughest years of my life. I rolled up my sleeve. I hired a coach. I hired a consultant. I paid that consultant. I paid them. I said, give it to me. Because up until that time, all the training I had was what my employer paid for or what I went to school. And I know that one will not make me win the game. Okay? So that is it. You take it, you focus on it. Okay? The coach, the consultant will help you to gain speed, will help you. You see, in any game, amateurs have no coach. There is no single team that you saw on the World Cup there who had no coach. It's impossible. It's impossible. And I've showed you, it's in the book. All the wealthy people you know today, they have consultant or mentor who coach them. You need that in this Q2. You need it completely. You have no choice. Then become a student of at least I'm telling you how to increase your chance of winning. Okay, once you have the game plan and a time frame to say within the next 5 years, I'm going to be out. It doesn't mean you go and resign your job. That's not what we're saying. You still need to pay your bill, but you are working on something, okay, alongside with your job. You are building network. You are knowing people. People who are in the FRO today, the meeting they even attended to be, they started knowing themselves. They started knowing that there's somebody called so person who is in Kenya. There's somebody called so person who is in UK. There's somebody called so person who is in so place. That's what we need. We mean with that, you can begin to form network. So I know somebody here. I know somebody in Kenya. I know somebody in UK. I know somebody. But today, your job, you may not know those people today. Okay. So that's it. If you become a student of one of the asset classes, and then you want to begin to practice with it. Why? I can guarantee you anything we are doing for the first time, whether you want to start a business, you want to invest, you want to anything, you will make mistake initially. Is the way we learned, including eating. When you started eating, you made mistake. Some of us were putting, there are mothers here, okay? When your children start eating, they want to put the food in their nose. Or you say, no, don't put your food there. Then you clean them. You say, put it in your mouth, put it in your mouth. Okay? Even eating, riding bicycle, we make mistakes. There's no way you will not make mistake. Now, in those 4 asset classes, but you correct the mistake. We have made tons of mistakes, but the mistakes we made us to learn. In some cases, we lost money. And looking back today, I learned better. So this is in Q2, you have time to do that. If you go and use your retirement money to start business and you, God forbid, something happens and you lose it, it's poverty for the rest of that person's life. But that's the mistake most people do. They make that mistake. And by the time you are retiring, your colleagues and all of those things, you are losing the contact. You have led the company. In most cases, when you leave a company, people in that company don't want to talk to you again. So this is the time to do that, okay? Number 3 is take saving and investing seriously. I'm not talking about speculative investing, very solid one. Before you start using money to invest, use that money to first learn. That's one of the mistakes I made. First, use it to learn. It will improve your chance of winning, and you will not repeat the error of most people. That's number 3. Seriously saving and investing, okay? And be strategic also with children's tuition. Let me say something to you. If you have a family business, quote me. The family business can pay for your children's school fees from beginning to the end. We teach in our one-on-one executive, we teach our clients how they can do that legitimately. Okay? So children's school fees, there are strategic ways. So those big ticket items, there are strategic ways you can do them, okay? You can do that. Let me give you one example about children's school fees. If you're anywhere in Canada or US or anything, start something like life insurance on time with for your children, okay? When they are very young. The cash value, if you start it when they are 3 years, 5 years, don't just stay with the RESP or whatever. Start a life insurance for them. The fund value can take them to the university. You can invest in a particular property and say, when my child is 20 years old or 19, I will refinance that property or sell it and use it to send them to the university. That's one of the strategies we used. So on those big ticket items, don't just save. Learn how to do it strategically. And lastly, insure your life on time. Springwell does not sell life insurance, okay? But make sure you have life insurance. The life insurance that your workplace offer you is an illusion. You will lose it the day you leave, okay? It is a mirage. I fell into that trap, okay? Don't do that, okay? Number 5, avoid bad debt like a plague. Avoid living beyond your means. Learn how to leverage good debts. When you are still within that, in the second quarter, your income may be high. That may give banks and all of those things. They may still be able to lend money to you. But once that quarter is over, it is over. I'm going to take a second poll very quickly. What season do you plan to win your money game? Okay, what season do you plan to win? Okay, you are going to put it there. Your name, city, the quarter you want to win. Just say winning quarter, quarter 2, quarter 1, quarter 3, quarter 4, quarter 5. Let's see that. And I'm going to stop here. Okay, let's do the poll again. I want to see you. That is why you are here today. Remember, we want to inspire you. We want you to go home and say, my God, no, not business as usual. I need to do something different because I'm in Q2. My Q3, I want to win. And it's not just to win. You need to do some of those things we need. Okay, what do I need to do? What book do I need to read? Who is the coach? Which courses do I need to attend? Start acquiring it. Who are the people I need to start to see? I started forming business relationship with some people 10 years ago. Now we have 10 years of business relationship. Listen, I'm going to share in confidence. Listen, can you see my screen? Listen to me. Can you see my screen? You can see my screen. Let me share this with you. Let me share this with you in confidence. Oh, I will come to watch your this thing. Let me share what I mean by starting on time. Listen to this. 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 Let me share with you. This is a business partner. Look at what he said. Okay. Can you see this? Wesley, you are as good as your word. Do you see that? You are as good as your word. This is one of our partners. Look at it. Hi, John. Confirm that you received your final balance sent below. And I detailed it. And he said, oh, Wesley, you're as good as your word. What does that mean? That's a person that my word alone, why we have built the relationship over time, my word alone, thousands of dollars business without paying $1. But I didn't start with them today. I built it. So I'm saying the where you want to win. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm saying that. Here's what I'm going to say. Winning quarter, Q1, Q2. Christopher, Lagos, Q2. I love that. Okay. But make sure you don't just put Q2 there. You work at your plan. Have a plan. Q4. I see Bola. Q4, Q3. And it is my prayer that you win. Dorcas wants to win in Q3. You now know what it means to win. Ifeanyi wants to win in Q2. Grace wants to win in Q3. Winning quarter is Q4. Bill wants to win in, in Q3. Aha. Peter, Anna, Peter, Kalu, Q, Malaysia, you want to win in Q2. You want to win in Q2. Kingston, you want to win in Q4. Ngozi in Port Harcourt wants to win in Q3. Do you see that wealth has a language now? You now know what it means. You are now conscious that, man, I'm in a game and I need to win. Okay, this is not, life can't go on like this. Richard wants to win in Q1. Thank you. Humphrey want to win in Malawi. Want to win. All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm in Q2 and winning in my late Q2. No longer, not long from now, from Italy. My heart desire and prayer for you that you will all win and we all win together. Thank you so much, Maria, for giving me the time. Thank you. All right.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Dr. Wesley, for that impactful and insightful session. Come on, can we just say thank you in the chat room? Thank you so much, so much. For me, one of the key takeaways is something you said. You said learning to invest is more important than learning a profession in Q2. Then you also mentioned that when you learn a profession, you learn how to work for money. But learning to invest in your Q2 is learning how money works for you. And that is your pathway to financial freedom. Wow, I believe that a lot of us have learned a lot of things today. And I'm very sure we have questions. So I dropped it. I don't know if some of us saw where I said, if you have questions, you can drop it in the chat room. But before we go into the Q&A segment, I have a video to play. It's actually from one of our past participants from our training. So, like Dr. Wesley said, that it's very important that you invest in your financial education. So let's hear what this person has to say.
How we going to bless the name of the Lord? Let's give him all the praise. The King of Kings and the Lord of Lords.
My name is Sam Edogo. I am a consumer marketing and sales professional with over 25 years professional experience in the telecommunications and fast-moving consumer marketing goods sector of the economy. I also have some experience in the aviation sector, and I was previously the executive director operations for Glo Mobile in Ghana, and then I became business director in Globacom Nigeria, and I moved on to Visaphone Communications Limited and as sales director for that organization. I am presently residing in Alberta, Canada, and I have had experience in investing both in my home country, Nigeria, and in Canada. I had two major challenges in building wealth. The first being a lack of or insufficient knowledge, and that led to the second challenge, which was a lack of confidence, because once you don't have knowledge, you are basically walking in the dark. But the process I underwent with Spring Wells Consulting has helped me to build knowledge and to build confidence. I have undergone a comprehensive process of coaching and consulting in wealth creation, and I went through the entire framework of wealth building, which has exposed me to the fundamentals of wealth building, including but not limited to the fact that for you to build wealth, you need to change your mindset. So mindset change is required and is very important and is key for building wealth. I've also learned the language of building wealth, which is necessary for the journey of wealth building. I personally doubt that there are up to 5% of Canadians who have an understanding, a grasp of wealth building. And I say that based on the fact that I have seen that most Canadians, up to 70%, live paycheck to paycheck. And if they don't work for 1 month, it will be disaster. So if 70% live paycheck to paycheck, I doubt that a lot of Canadians have that knowledge. Otherwise, they would be implementing it so that they will be out of the rat race of living paycheck to paycheck. Wealth creation, as far as I'm concerned, is a journey. And the most important part of that journey is to begin, okay? The first step is very important. And I as a person, with all that I've learned from the consultants, tend to make a start and implement some of the knowledge that I've gained, some of the insights that I have gained in this process. And it's only useful for you to deploy the knowledge you have. If you have knowledge for its sake and you don't deploy it, it benefits you nothing. It benefits the entire world nothing. So I intend to make a start, deploy the knowledge I have gained, and see to it that that knowledge takes me on the journey of wealth creation. Speaking about Mr. Wesley Ogude, the lead consultant in the process, I like to commend his vast understanding of the process of wealth creation and the vast knowledge and experience that he commands. Mr. Wesley speaks with facts and figures, and you could see him, he speaks based on the experience he's gained, not just based on books he's read. It's important to have knowledge you have gained from reading books, but it is better for you to have experiential knowledge. And he has brought both the knowledge is gained by reading books and the experiential knowledge of practicing what he's talking about. And that makes it really compelling, and it makes it also very, very, very breathtaking. So you can't sit in his class and not feel inspired and motivated to get out there and achieve wealth creation for yourself and for your generation after you. And therefore, I will, without any form of reservation, recommend Spring Wells Consulting. And I would do that very highly to high income earners in Canada and around the world, okay? So that you can utilize your high income to build wealth for yourself and your generation after you for the purposes for which you would like to deploy wealth. We are all aware of the fact that many high income earners do go broke. A clear example is Mike Tyson, who after earning so much in his career, a lot of millions of US dollars, he went broke, he went bankrupt. A few years ago, he declared bankruptcy. So I would recommend Spring Wells Consulting and the consulting team at Spring Wells to high income earners, because I believe that the value that you will take out of the process is second to none.
Okay, thank you for watching, everyone. Okay, like you heard from Sam Idoho, it's very important that you invest in your financial education. Okay, so before we move into the Q&A segment, I have a few announcements about our upcoming cohort. So I'll just share my screen right away. Okay. So, right. Okay, like you already know, our website is www.highincometowealth.com. So you can get more information about our programs and what we are about. Then also we're on the social media. In case you're on this platform, you're not following us on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. So you might want to do a screenshot of this screen right now. And also we're on YouTube. Like you already know, this session is live streamed, is live on YouTube. I've been getting a lot of requests to record. Don't worry, it's actually on YouTube. You can actually watch the replay on YouTube. Then also, if you're on this platform and you're not part of our community, this is the opportunity you have. So Simeon will help me drop the link to our WhatsApp community in the chat room. So in the WhatsApp community, you get updates about our upcoming programs, our webinar invites, weekly insights, exclusive opportunities, and announcements. Dr. Wesley was talking about the FRO. I'm sure for some of you that are not familiar with it, you'll be like, what's that about anyway? So in the community, you get exclusive opportunities, and so it's very important that you're part of our community. So the link to join the WhatsApp community will be dropped in the chat room. Then also upcoming events, starting this August, our summer foundation cohort and intermediate cohort will kick off officially on August 7th. Then also in July, interestingly, we have another free webinar that will be July 25th. The topic will be announced, and of course, you already know the date. Same time, 11 a.m. Eastern time will be the time to also be announced on the community. So if you want to get more updates about future programs, it's very, very important that you are in our community. And this slide shows the schedule for our foundation cohort. That's the summer cohort. Like I mentioned before, it starts August 7th, which is a Friday. So the program is, the way it's structured, it's a 5-day intensive program, but it's spread across 3 weeks. So week 1, which is Friday, August 7th, time is 9 a.m. Eastern time. Then we have week 2, which will be a Friday and a Saturday. Then we also have week 3, which will be the final week. That's also August 28 and 29. Then also, so usually when we have the foundation course, we also have the intermediate course, but the intermediate course will be like 2 p.m. Eastern time. So same date as the foundation course. However, the intermediate course is for people that have gone through the foundation. Yes. So I'm sure with some of our past participants are on this platform. Intermediate course is August 7. Now, for some people, you're wondering, what would you learn from the foundation course? Well, you get to learn the 4 timeless asset classes. You know, Dr. Wesley always mentioned the fact that you can create wealth with the 4 asset classes. So in the foundation course, it goes more in depth into how you can utilize the 4 asset classes to create wealth. Then also in the foundation course, you get to learn about tax optimization and wealth protection. You learn strategies to legally protect your wealth and minimize tax liabilities. Then you also get to learn the 3 powerful wealth forces. You understand the forces behind wealth creation and how to activate them in your own journey. Then you also learn proven wealth building templates. You know, you have access to practical tools and blueprints that are not taught in school, designed to help you fast track your financial goal. And the price for the foundation course is 1,300 USD. The regular price is 1,500 USD. So you get to pay 1,300 for early bird. So that's our early bird offer for the foundation course. And if you're ready to take the next step, this is the opportunity. Simeon will also drop the link to the registration and the payment in the chat room. You can also scan the QR code on display if you want to sign up for the foundation course and take advantage of the early bird discount. So you're paying 1,300 USD instead of 1,500 USD. Then also, Dr. Wesley's book, Winning the Money Game with Dignity, it's on Amazon, like you already know. And on the screen, you can see the country the book has been. Okay, the book has been in the US. We've gotten readers from the US, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Germany, France, Japan, Belgium, Italy, Sweden, Poland, India. And guess what? With the FRO program that we launched in June, the book will now be in the following countries: Uganda. So you can walk into a bookstore in a particular region in Uganda and you get the book. And this is because of the FRO program. And if you in South Africa too, we got partners from South Africa, we got partners from Kenya, from Zambia, yes, from Nigeria, from Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Jamaica, Canada, and the United Kingdom. And for some people that are just hearing about the FRO program and you're wondering, what's the need for me? Now, as an FRO partner, you get exclusive FRO team training. This FRO program also introduces you to, international networking. You connect and collaborate with other elite FRO team members from different countries. Interestingly, some of our FRO partners, they're collaborating, and some of them discover that, oh, I'm in a particular region with this person, like, oh, let's partner, let's do this together. Also, the FRO partner helps with global scaling strategy. You learn advancing corporate structuring and the exact blueprint needed to scale a business globally. Then you become a brand ambassador. Yes, you become the official distributor of the Winning the Money Game book in your region and your territory. Also, it's an opportunity for some of us that do not have businesses. So like startup acceleration, you master the mechanics of taking a brand new startup and growing it aggressively on a regional level. Then also you get to learn tax optimization strategy. Then of course, live seminar hosting rights. For example, you're in Canada or maybe you're in Uganda, you want to host maybe a free webinar for some people, maybe some people in the corporate sector. As an FRO partner, you're an ambassador. You can invite Dr. Wesley, to come and host that event for you and all. So that actually gives you that opportunity. Then also generational wealth preservation, then how to preserve a business multi-generationally using the FRO framework as you leave, right? So in case you're interested, we just finished the first set, like the first batch, right? So we're gonna have another set. So the link to join the waiting list will be dropped in the chat room. So Simeon will help me drop the link to join the waiting list. So if you're interested, please join using the link. Then also, I want to mention that the opportunity and updates about the FRO will be posted in our community. So if you're not in our WhatsApp community, this is the time to join. Then finally, for some reason, my screen is not moving again. Okay. So finally, my number. Okay. Screen is not moving. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. I'll drop my number in the chat room just in case you need to make inquiries about our programs and everything. Thank you so much. So quickly, let's move to the Q&A segment of the program. I believe we all have questions. I know a lot of us are aching to ask Dr. Wesley a lot of questions. We received quite a number of them, but if you're in this program, I think we have some people on YouTube too. If you have questions on YouTube, please drop them in the chat, in the live chat. Then if you're on this platform, you can drop your questions in the chat room, or you can simply signify by raising your hand, then I'll call you to ask your question. So we have a question in the chat room. I'll just read it quickly. Okay. All right, so the first question is from Godson. He says, I work in a medical facility where I earn 80,000 Naira Nigerian currency. That is equivalent of $58. I am in my first quarter. How do I make it from here? What do I focus on from this level? That's the first question, sir.
Excellent, excellent. And thank you for being vulnerable. I mean, disclosing how much you earn and things like that, right? In winning the money game, I gave example of a lady who was born in Asia, and I gave 3 scenarios about that lady. Okay, get a copy of that book and read it. Because of course, I need to answer your question within a few minutes, but you will understand the template of that lady. So the lady started exactly the way you are. She was like, you know, right? And then to answer your question, you take where you are now. One of the good things you have done is finding yourself in this kind of environment, because this environment is exactly what Tony Robbins, who was earning, how much was he earning? Maybe $34 per. I hope you know Tony Robbins. He's a global wealth consultant. In fact, he's my mentor. He was earning very, very low income. All right. So what did he do? Okay, and what should you do? The first thing is you need to be hanging around this crowd, this kind of crowd. Stay on. And within that your means, any of the resources that you can afford to. That's why there is something for everybody, okay? If you don't have money or anything, you can buy the book. What does the book cost? $50. You will still get something. In other words, your key to leaving that place and winning is your knowledge. Start investing in your knowledge within where you want your capacity. That's number one. Number two, you need to try to accelerate your income. And to accelerate your income means that if you don't have the skill set to attract a high level of income, then you need to invest in that skill set. You might need to take some training. You might need to diversify. You know, there was a particular time, you know, one of my daughters, you know, told me, now I have so many daughters. I have biological daughters. I have adopted daughters. And I have a lot of people who call me their dad, or I'm a dad figure. So one of my daughters told me that she was earning a particular amount. Okay, obviously she was earning very low. And I asked her, what is your plan? She said, I want to remain here for maybe 3 years. I said, so you want to stay 3 years Do you know you can invest in yourself within 6 months and invest your money, just save your money, invest it, and do a couple of training and completely change where the kind of job you are doing so that you can earn, better job, which is what I would say to you. Save, invest in your skill, train, try to re-strategize and change the trajectory of your job, acquire new skills, okay, learn new skills so that you can command better job, you can have better job, you can command better earning, and you can use that earning to now begin to improve yourself. That's my daughter that I told you about. Within a space of about 2 years, she practically doubled what she was earning. I mean, now she earns 6 figures, right? So don't sit tight on where you are. Start from there, invest in yourself, change it, look for other opportunities, and from there, take your journey on and make sure that you are hanging around and imitating those who have been successful. Let's go to the next question.
Okay, we have a question from YouTube. I'll just read it quickly. Okay, the person says, how do one develop a clear goal and mindset about money? How does the wealthy define wealth?
All right. So the way to do that is just 3 things. Okay. 1, you need to know what the wealthy know. 2, you need to start learning to do what they do. And 3, you need to be connected to the category of people they are connected with. Okay. It sounds like rhetorics, but wherever you are, look for a copy of this book. The details are right there. Don't be like what some people say. Some people say that if you want to hide something from a Black person, write it in a book. I'm sure you are not that kind of Black person, because there is no alternative to knowledge. So how do they look at wealth? They look at wealth differently from the way the middle class and the poor look at wealth. They look at wealth from the 4 lenses of the asset classes that create wealth. They learn to master one of those asset classes. They learn the language. They learn the techniques. They learn how to master it. And that asset class will replace them. We start generating money for them while they sleep. But to do what I just told you now, you need to know what they know, start practicing what they do, and be connected to the class of people they are. If you do that long enough, it's guaranteed you'll be out of the rat race.
All right. Thank you, sir. Okay, there's another question in the chat room. Okay, this person says, I'm a musician. I have a record company, but no serious cash flow yet. Do you think I should spend my time learning the music business, or should I spend time learning how to invest?
Beautiful question. Should I spend time learning the music business or learning how to invest? Very brilliant question. Okay, let me put it within the context of this playbook we are using. Okay? The people who play music, who have musical skill, they are in the S quadrant. They are in the S quadrant. In the S quadrant, you are the asset. So a medical doctor who is practicing, okay, is also in the S quadrant. Okay? A dentist is in the S quadrant. The musician is in the S quadrant. What is peculiar in that S quadrant? No. So if you don't know what is the ES quadrant and you don't know the details, again, get a copy of that book. Okay? It is my gift to you because it is that understanding that changed the way I saw life, saw things. Okay? But let me go to your question. So in the S quadrant, that's where you are. When you are playing music, you are in the S quadrant. In the S quadrant, one thing is peculiar. You are the job. You are the job. You are the asset that is. And so think about it. If you're a practicing musician, the day you play music, you make money. If you stop playing music, you will not make any money again. Okay? So when you said, should I focus on music or should I focus on investment? What you should do is focus on investing. Okay? Don't abandon your music talent, but focus on learning how to invest. Why? When you see musicians, when you see sport athletes, The people who make money are not the musician. They are not the sport athletes. You know who make the money? The investors who own the company that releases their this thing. My elder brother is a musician, and I can tell you that. Okay, they're the people in soccer or in any of these sports. You listen, the people who invest, the owners of the company, the owners of they are the people who truly make the money. So to answer your question, that is where to focus. However, it is a journey. It is a journey. If you don't have the resources to invest now, in the short term, that is why you heard, we don't teach make money fast, quick, this thing. We don't teach that there because those things don't last. It's a journey. Give yourself a few years to say, okay, if you don't have the capital to start to invest, you can say to yourself, okay, I will spend the first 3-5 years of my life focusing on the music so I can earn. And with that money, I can use it to improve myself, learn how to invest, learn how to start company and things like that. Then I will move from the S quadrant into the I quadrant because the money game is one either in the I or in the B quadrant. Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. So this next question is from someone who says, I'm a 41-year-old father of 5. What financial roadmap would you recommend until I turn 50?
Okay, fine. I don't know where you are. Again, it will sound rhetoric. Okay. The roadmap is very clear. You need to draw a map for yourself to say, before I turn 60, there are 4 asset classes. I want to know what they are. And I want to know, understand them. And I want to choose 1 or 2 of them and focus on them. That's the part. It will lead you to financial freedom. If you do that, go ahead.
Okay, so the next question says, what did you know now about wealth creation that if you had known earlier, you think you would have done better?
Very good. The most important thing that I have come to know about wealth creation that I didn't know better, there are many, but I will boil them down to 2. Okay, number 1, I did not understand that creating wealth or money is a game, and I didn't know the rules. So I was breaking the rules. There is no way, absolutely, you cannot win any game if you don't understand the game. You can't win. You can't win soccer. You can't win hockey. Okay, I'm a Canadian. In Canada, we love hockey. Okay, I understand hockey, but I don't understand baseball. I have told people to explain it. I don't know if somebody understands baseball. I have no understanding of baseball. I will just see that they are running around from one end of the speed and they will be talking. I have no clue what they are talking about. Now, can you imagine I can win baseball? I can't win baseball. So what did I understand now that I didn't understand? And now I understand the rules of money game. Okay. If I understood it earlier, I would have won earlier. Okay. Now, not just understanding the rules. The other thing is that I started addressing my skill sets, which I did not have to be able to obey those rules. I don't want to speak on top of your head. So if you are new here, and at the same time, I don't want to be repeating myself. But one of the rules of the money game is that the money game is a team sport. You can't win it solo. That's one of the rules. So if you are the only one working for your money and all you work for is your paycheck and that's it, when you are sleeping, the ability to make money is asleep. When you're on vacation, the ability to make money, you will lose, guarantee. So those are the things that I wish I knew before. Many, many, but just because of our time. Okay? All right.
Okay, this question says, hello, professor. I think here in Africa, our biggest challenge isn't desire or idea, it's access to capital and markets. Without capital, what skill can we build independently and scale across the continent?
All right. Okay, number 1 question, the one comment I will tell you is this. Okay, don't boil the ocean. Okay, don't try to solve African problem. Try to focus on your own life and your family. Okay, you see, Because if you approach wealth that way, you are going to lose. Wealth is a very personal thing, okay? So that Africa lacks capital and all of those things, personally, do you know how much? Go and find out. Do you know how much capital have been donated to Africa? What happens to that money? What happens? Do you know how much loan Africa has taken? Okay, do you know how much? Where does the loan, where does it end? Of course, you know, if you're an African, you know where it ends. So the problem of Africa is not capital. The problem of Africa, there are two, is corruption and leadership. Okay, if you fix those two things, right? The issue of capital. Look, I just showed you an email of somebody who said your word is as good, you are as good as your word. So if you cannot be trusted, that is why we talk about winning the money game with dignity. Okay? In my own family, capital has never been our issue. We have bought millions of dollars of assets when we had zero money. But we had to solve for two things first. So if Africa can solve for it, number one, we had to solve for skill. I had to solve for skill. I'm not talking about theoretical knowledge. There are a lot of professors in Africa. There are a lot of theories in Africa. Okay, I'm an African and I'm proud to be one. But a lot of us who are around here know that there are a lot of talk, that we have a lot of professors, that will not help. The wealthiest people are not the most educated people, credential, academic. In fact, our next webinar is going to address that, because some people confuse academic knowledge, academic intelligence for practical financial intelligence. There are few people in Africa who truly understand how to create wealth. So if you solve for that skill to be able to create wealth, so that when the capital is in your hands, you will be able to know what to do with it, and you will not squander it. Okay, Africa, you know it. A lot of Africans are very wasteful. The way we throw money at parties. Somebody will say your issue is capital. Your issue is not capital. Your issue is the practical way to. Dangote was able to establish the biggest refinery in Africa. Go and ask Dangote, did he have problem raising capital? The answer is no. He got $2 billion US dollars. It's on YouTube. Why would they give it to Dangote? They could trust him. They could see his track record. Did he deliver? Absolutely, he delivered. Okay? So solve your own problem. Two things. The practical ability to truly create wealth, and you must show resolve for it. And number two, prove to be the person that they can trust with money. If you can do that, there are many people who come to us today say, oh, we want to invest in anything you're investing. We say, no, we don't want your money. Money will come chasing you if you solve for those two things. You know what you're doing. You can show the track record, and they can trust you. They will give money to you.
All right, thank you, sir. So the next question says, I am at the end of Q3, still in the E quadrant, but already playing in the I quadrant.
I just love the way the person phrased the question. So he's speaking the language, he or she. Is it he or she?
Okay, let me see. Okay, Bola, I'm not sure.
Okay,
I don't
she,
know.
it's a she.
Maybe she.
Yeah.
So how can I accelerate my move to the B quadrant as soon as possible?
Okay, Bola is very simple. Hire a coach. Simple. Amateurs move slowly. Amateurs don't attain certain level. Coaches, that's what I did. That's it. Okay, because what will take you 2-3 years of try and error, you make mistake, the coach will disclose that to you. I was telling somebody, my lawyer, we had a deal that didn't go well. I entered that deal 5 years ago, and we lost some money. Very painful. And I told my lawyer, I said, if I paid somebody $50 US to expose me to what I learned painfully in this, I would have been happier. I won't say more than that.
All right. Okay, so let's take this question. It says, how do I develop a clear, strategic, and realistic plan to transition from 9 to 5 into an industrialist? Yes.
Okay, very, very good. All right, so the way to do it is, again, get somebody to work with you to develop a plan, because the plan will start with what kind of, there are a lot of questions you will need to answer. So you will need somebody by your side to help you. It will be questions like, what are you doing currently? What resources do you have? What skill set do you have? Here are the 4 asset classes. You need to learn those asset classes. I'm not soliciting for you to attend training. No, I'm telling you the truth. If you can learn it elsewhere, go learn it. But the foundation cohort is for you. By the time you come out of the foundation cohort, there are certain questions you won't be asking again about those 4 asset classes, because you would have spent 5 weeks immersed in it. And you come out, it will be clear. So whoever is asking that question needs to understand those 4 asset classes in detail and decide which one you want to, and then focus on developing a strategic plan around that asset class. That strategic plan must be developed around one of them. That's exactly what we did. When I came to understand them in detail and how they make money, and I saw my situation, my constraint, remember, you need time. There was a reason why I chose real estate as one of them, one of my 4. Today we are in all the 4, okay? All the 4 asset classes. In some modest form, we are in them. But I started with real estate. Why did I start with real estate? Because after understanding all the 4, and I looked at myself, I said, given where I am, my low-hanging fruit is this one. So you can see that. Then I developed a strategic plan around that. Now got somebody to say, pieces it for me. Here, I pay your bill. Pieces it for me. And they pieces it for me. And I said, wow, yeah, okay, I've started. How to raise the money, how to finance it, how to close it, how to manage it, what are the risks around it, everything. Excuse me. It is not a 1-hour conversation. It's not a 90-minute conversation, okay? It's an intensive one. And once you have been able to do it, that's what I call attending flight school in the book. You attend flight school, then you can fly a plane, right? You can fly a plane because you create wealth with leverage. I don't want to, whoever asked that question, you would learn leverage. Excuse me, to buy $1 million real estate, $1 million real estate, can I save $1 million? In fact, before I started my own independence journey, by God's grace today, our modest wealth that God has given us in our family is in millions of dollars. But at that time, I didn't even have $1 million. My entire net worth was less than $1 million. So the strategic plan involved, how do I raise capital? But how do I use that capital safely so that I don't land myself in more hot soup? And they opened everything, including the layer. That is the first rule in money game. It's called the rule of secrecy. It's kept secret. They will unveil everything to you. Then you can work with confidence. You had our client's testimonial today. He said 2 things stopped him. He said he was afraid because he did not have knowledge. You're walking in the dark. So that strategic plan, you need it to open your eyes. And once you do that, you are in. All right? Good.
So, okay, the other question is still from engineer Abdul Latif. I actually have the answer to that. So he wants to know how we can get the book in Nigeria. So what you do is send me a message. I'll link you up with our FRO partner in Nigeria. All right.
Thank you. You see, before you leave that, let me just use it to illustrate something to all of our listeners today. Did you see what our global program manager just said now? 2 months ago, she couldn't say that. People were asking in the committee, where can we get it? Where can we get it? And we told them, we said, don't worry, give us a few months. If you ask, where can we get the book? We will tell you, which country are you? And we will point somebody there that you can contact and you can get the book. Now, excuse me, that didn't happen automatically. It happened, she's my witness, session, strategic research, doing all sorts of, we did it. Why? I told the community, I said, I want to use that to teach you how to do anything. It doesn't have to, I mean, we're using a book. It could be anything. Get there and I will train you. I will use it. Just be learning. Then you can get one of our training. One person said, just, wow, see the way you explain this thing. I can just reverse engineer it and do what I have always been wanting to do. Exactly. So she simply said, don't worry, contact me. I will point you to somebody. How did that happen? Because we obeyed the law of team. We formed a team, FRO partners. And then we also obeyed the law of what, right? We obeyed the law of practice. We knew there was going to be a problem, but we're going to solve that problem. Today, she can say it confidently. You can get it. Right? That's how to win the money game. It won't happen by dreaming or by wishing or by complaining about the problem. You will roll up your sleeve, analyze what the problem is, brainstorm, form a team, and get it solved. That's how Elon Musk became a billionaire. That's how Steve Jobs became a billionaire. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Okay, let's take this final question. It says, I'm having a moving company in Winnipeg, Manitoba. After 3 years, I am going off field and I want to develop myself in financial literacy and investment. How do I from here, including having the right coach and mentor? Thank you.
Okay, that's very good. Okay, all right. So so congratulations that you have started in Winnipeg. But my question to you is that before you started a company in Canada, this is Winnipeg, right? Okay, Winnipeg is in Canada. How much training or coaching did you get about how to run a company properly? Okay. If you have not, then you are leaving a lot on the table. We have company in Canada now. We have 4 companies. In close to 10 years, they paid 0 in tax. Okay. And the companies are at the, but when we started, we didn't know so many things. So how do you do it? To move from where you are, you need to look for somebody who has run business in Canada successfully, who has scaled it, to be able to mentor you and teach you so that you can gain speed, okay? You can gain speed on how to scale the business. Not only scaling the business, from that business, you can set up another business. Business, by the way, is one of the 4 asset classes. And then you can begin to see how you can build another asset class from that class, right? If you need help from our team, please get in touch with Maria, okay? The one-on-one program will be very ideal for you. Please go ahead.
All right, thank you so much. So I think that's going to be the last question.
Okay, all right.
120 minutes already. Thank you so much, Dr. Wesley. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for participating. And those watching on YouTube, thank you for engaging. Thank you for the questions. Thank you so much. And also, if you want me to answer any question, my number is in the chat room. Please, you can just send me a message. If you want to enroll for the foundation course, send me a message. Then if you want to engage Dr. Wesley one-on-one, send me a message. I will link you up with him. Then also, if you want to get the book, for those watching on Amazon, you can also, you can check, for those watching on YouTube rather, you can get the book on Amazon. But if you're in a particular country, say maybe in Africa, and you can actually purchase the book from there, I'll link you up with our FRO partner in your country. And you can definitely get the book, the physical copy of the book. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your day. And for those of us in Nigeria, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you, and bye-bye.